back to the channel. New season, new start, so happy new year to everyone. I have been keeping an eye on my videos as I've been publishing them from Whitby, the leftovers that I had from last year, and I've got quite a few views on those and some more subscribers, so thank you to everyone who has subscribed. If you haven't and you want to, by all means please do by pressing the subscribe button below. It's in red, and if you want to be notified when I publish every Friday, there's a notification bell as well, but generally I post every Friday at 12 o'clock. I now have 66 subscribers, and that is more than I ever thought I would ever get. I don't get paid for any of this. YouTube doesn't pay me for any of it. I just want to show what I enjoy and what I'm doing and learning in my process. So if you want to share my videos, that would be much appreciated, because the more people that see them, maybe the more interest we would have in the American Civil War, or just generally reenactments, or if you're actually interested in seeing me and what I do. Which is the latter. I highly doubt you want to watch me and what I do. Most of my subscribers, I believe, are actually reenactors already. So thank you to you all for A, letting me video you all and take photos of you all at events, and B, thank you for them watching my videos that I also publish. That is much appreciated. If anyone does want to be in my videos at reenactments, please just pop me a message. I know I did some interviews last year with Daz, Andy, my own dad, Christian, Connor, Catherine and Dave. I think that's everyone I did interviews with, and they actually went really smoothly and I really enjoyed them. I think they did as well secretly. Last year I did start something called Sausage Gate, which will be coming this season as a finished video. I took some clips last year of asking people what kind of sausages they like to eat. There'll be context in the video, but it'll be a funny video to watch nevertheless. Today's video is just going to be getting back into the season, sorting stuff out ready for the first event. The first event is Whittington Castle, which is the first weekend in April, I believe the 1st and 2nd. So I'll be going up on the Friday, and then setting up and then staying for the whole weekend. Fingers crossed. I am taking Archie, he's my 4-month-old baby. I had him in October. I am going to take him with me. The face is because I'm not sure how it's going to go. He is normally a very good baby, touch wood, so I'm hoping he will be fine on camp, but we just need to see and figure out what's going on. I have already said if he cries all night Friday night, or if he is unsettled for whatever reason, I will bring him home on the Saturday, because A, it's not fair to keep him for 2 nights in a row in a place he's not comfortable in, which I think he will maybe be a bit unsettled because it's not his normal place away from home, although I am trying to get him used to the idea of sleeping inside a little pop-up tent, inside a giant tent, sleeping inside his cradle, things like that. He's already used to sleeping in Moses' basket, and I do have one to take with me, so that's a bonus. But if he does get unsettled for whatever reason, he's awake the whole night, I will bring him home on the Saturday to have a proper night's sleep. It's not fair on him, and I'll come back home. So that's the first event. My preparations, as previous, were making clothes for Archie, which you'll see a bit about in this video in a second, and then I'm going to do some tent setup, as I didn't replace my strings on my tent at the end of last season. I just folded my tent up and put it away. Now there is a certain person on here, one of our corporals, who will go, typical, always a golden, never finishes stuff at the end of the season. So I am going to get my tent out shortly and reattach some more strings that I've bought for the tent to do it up at the front, as over the years it has worn off, definitely worn off. I also need to figure out how to use my gas cooker, although I think I know how to use it, but for Christmas I got a double cast cooker with a stand, so I need to buy some gas bottles for that, and get it on the stand basically and learn how to use it. That's going to be for ideally Archie. It's warming up bottles, warming up food, things he needs perhaps. If he wakes up in the middle of the night and does need a bottle, I'll be able to do that for him. Whereas at the moment we cheat, and just behind me on the countertop is a prep machine, which preps our bottles within 2 minutes. So I can't take that away from me, there's going to be no electricity. Also, while on topic, if anyone knows of any battery operated monitors, so I can monitor Archie and not be sat right next to him all the time, that would be wonderful, because I've been looking, and a friend of mine has also been looking, and we've just failed to find any type of like a walkie-talkie but battery operated and for a baby. So I can hear him if I'm outside the tent, round the campfire, only literally a metre or two away from the tent, just sat at the campfire, I still want to be able to hear him around the chit chat around the campfire. So I'm going to take, or I would like to take, some sort of sound detection, I don't know, something just so I can monitor him. The only ones I can seem to find are Powers mains. Of course, being in a field, that's pretty difficult. Other than that, I'm going to let the video crack on because I've chatted for long enough. I now have a 4-month-old baby, 4 months yesterday, I think, or 4 months 2 days ago. So he needs some clothes for reenacting. I have done some research and I have found some things online that babies wore gowns until they are able to crawl, and then they wore shorter gowns so they could crawl with a pair of pants or long johns underneath. I thought I would give it a go at making some stuff, so I went to the charity shop the other day. They had this piece of material here, just a bit of linen, 50p, which I've just done these cuttings out of. And then I managed to also get, this is a full, really pretty curtain, and it's got floral pattern, leaves, etc. on it, and that was £1. And I've also managed to get some other material, one set of curtains that looks it just looks rustic from the design of the curtains, not because they're gross. So I've given it all a wash, and the others are in the wash, which is why I can't show you that material at the moment. So I've got 2 other pieces of material, and I've also picked up a stripy shirt for myself. I did pick it up for Archie for his clothes to make out of, but I actually really like the shirt, so I might just cut the collar off and use it for me this season instead. So what I've done is I've taken one of his new outfits in 3-6 that he's not worn yet, a top. This is huge on him. He's still fitting in some of his 0-3 tops, so I know this is so big on him, so I can use it as a good stencil for later on in the year if this doesn't fit him now. And I've also got a pair of trousers. I'm not cutting these up for obvious reasons, but I was using these as stencils because I know they're bigger than what he is now, and then I can always alter or take hems off of the trousers if I need to, or just make more out of this material because I've got loads of it. I've never made clothes before. You know when you're like in school and you make like arts and crafts and you do arts. I think I did like a handbag and I lined a handbag, but I've never actually made an item for somebody to use. I made a pillowcase. I never used it because I didn't like it. So all I've done today is, you'll see in the footage somewhere now, so essentially what happened is I did, ignore this one that I've just cut, I did 2 trouser stencils. However, when I was cutting out the first one, I forgot to leave some for a hem to put some elastic in here, and I also forgot on the bottoms to leave enough to hem the bottom of the trousers as well. And I thought, oh, I'll just make it shorter. But these clothes that I've measured Archie using are 3-6 clothes, which these are far too big for him. This top is far too big for him, and these trousers are a bit big for him as well. So I've measured it in these for 4 and a bit weeks time for our first event. Thought I'd have a go at it. Sort of think I've measured it okay. Bear in mind I've never made clothes before, so we're actually just going to have to see how it turns out. So I've had to cut another pair of the first one I did because I didn't leave any space for hems or extra material just in case I went wrong. So that's now ditched and I'll use it for something else. And instead, as you've just seen, I've cut myself a second pair of trousers, but I've left enough material on the bottom and the top to be able to hem the open sections. So fingers crossed that goes okay. And then just to show you the tops quickly, I'd done these without recording. So this top, it looks huge, but he's going to probably end up wearing clothes underneath this. This is just for purposes of showing you the reenactment. So he will probably have a long vest on underneath, or some vest and pants underneath, something similar. So the top, it's got, I don't know if it can be clear on camera, but it's got an extra V down the bottom because that's the front. So that's how I've remembered the front. And then the top is more shallow. Oh, sorry, the back is more shallow across the top there. So those two pieces are good. I just need to remember now to leave enough material, which I have done, at the bottoms and the top. So I'm not going to cut any more material off of either of these until they're now sewn together. I couldn't be bothered to do separate pieces for the arms, so if it goes wrong, it goes wrong, but I've never made clothes before, so we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping I didn't chat too much rubbish in that video. I'm not sure what I actually said in it. As you can see, I was cutting up, drawing around the material. Oh, that's what I was saying. I had cut the wrong size trousers, so I've recut them out into bigger trousers. Other than that, I'm about to start sewing them. I literally just knocked my needle and thread onto the floor. I got a little cold, so I've stuck my dressing gown over the top, just so I actually sit here and do this. I've already put the pins in for hemming the trousers, but I haven't decided whether I'm going to use elastic or string yet. I think I'll use string because I can then alter it, whereas elastic, A, isn't period, and B, it could be too tight, it could be too loose. I don't know. I think I just prefer the sound and look of string, but I would like to do the hemming in a different colour. I'm going to use this, and if my dad is watching, yes, I pinched this. Yes, it was about 5 or 6 years ago. I also pinched a few of your needles, just in case you recognise that too. So when I say pinched, by the way, I don't mean actually stolen. You gave me your sewing kit one day at Civil War. I came home with it, and I've just never given you this back. But if you need it, I've got it. I don't even know if he watches my YouTube. I hope he does. Anyway, on to the t-shirt. And if anyone is wondering where Archie is, he's asleep, and I will show you. Hopefully the camera doesn't just reflect instead. It is 5 to 10, so he's definitely asleep. Oh, the camera's a bit pixelated, but hoping you can see that on the camera. Maybe you can't, maybe you can, but he is fast asleep in his cot. Super cute. Good afternoon. Just for an update, I did a little bit of hemming on his trousers, as you can see. I used the blue, as I said in the video. I haven't done the bottoms because what I wanted to do before I finished hemming the other side, and the same with the top, is I wanted to make sure they fit Archie first. So I put the humongous top on Archie and it went over him perfectly fine. It just didn't go over his belly, even though it's too big. But you live and learn. So I was like, fair enough, the top doesn't quite fit. It does say it needs another couple of centimetres, if that, and the top's fine. Well, maybe not fine for 4 weeks' time, but the trousers actually go really well on him until you get to his butt. And what I'd forgotten is that the clothes I'm using to measure are stretchy, whereas I'm just using fabric. I'm not using a stretchy material. So I'm glad I stopped where I did. However, I am actually really happy with these clothes and I'm probably going to finish using them because if we have any more children in the future, I hope we do. I'm not pregnant, by the way. Please do not get any ideas. But I hope we have more children in the future and they'll then be fine for a baby we have in the future. So I will probably finish them and make them look a lot neater than they do. Just wanted to give you the update. I did, however, get Archie to hold them and have a look what he thinks. And I mean, he seemed to like the top, as you'll see from the thumbnail picture at the front of the video. But the trousers he wasn't too fussed with.